All right, I am back. Sorry guys, I had to check a message really quick, but we are here. Welcome everybody to Lissa Live. Today we're just going to be doing a little bit of prep. I wanted to show you guys how I wash my lettuce for salads because we're getting ready for lunch and we're going to be making Moroccan lime as a salad dressing. That one is in Meal Plan Volume 3. That's this book right here. Oh, this one here. It's Moroccan lime. It's day 6 lunch. There we go. So that's going to be our dressing for our salad, but I wanted to come on here and show you guys how we wash our lettuce because we get so many questions asking how do we wash our lettuce. So that's gonna happen, but first up, I gotta take the kale chips out of the dehydrator because Nate wanted me to. Woo! We got some here. And we've got some here. Some good kale chips. And woohoo! Nate's making cauliflower buffalo bites in the dehydrator. So we wanted to take the kale chips out so they didn't get too crispy because we kind of like them a little bit chewy. But yeah, so welcome everybody. Sorry I haven't seen everyone who's in here, but how do you completely dry the lettuce? Please cover that. Yes, we're using the spinner. This is an OXO spinner, so I'll talk about that in a second. Yeah, let's see here. All right, so first up, I'm going to actually fill this with water and a little bit of the Norwex fruit and veg wash. And really don't need a lot, just a little tiny bit is all you need, just a smidge. So again, that's the Norwex fruit and veg wash. If you guys want link to the product, let me know, swipe up if you can, send me a direct message. I'll send you a link on where to get that. But yeah, so I put a little bit in there and then I fill it with water. You could use baking soda as well. You can also use vinegar. I don't really like using vinegar because I can't stand the smell of the vinegar, so I don't use it. I was using baking soda before I found the Norwex stuff, so now I use Norwex to wash. Why don't you use baking soda anymore? Because I like the Norwex stuff better, but like I said, baking soda is totally cool. You can use that as well. I just prefer using the Norwex. What are we making? I'm just doing a video on how I chop and wash my lettuce. So there's 2 different ways that you can do this. So here we go. Number 1, you can do them individually if you want. I don't like that method because I feel like it takes a lot more time. So I just chop off the end, and these guys, you guys, the ends of the lettuce, you can actually put in water in a big tray and you can regrow the lettuce. They start to grow out through the top. So if you're trying to save money, it's a great idea to put those in a tray. Let's see what you guys saying here. Where's Nate? Nate actually had to go grab dates because we're totally out of dates and we didn't realize that we were. So we're out of dates. We can't make lunch until he comes back with some more. So he went to the store to go grab some dates because we need more. We forgot. Is your water filtered from the sink? No, but Ashland has really good water and we use the filtered water from the fridge. So again, use whatever water you feel you want to use for this. Romaine shot glasses, right? The little romaine shot glasses. But if you just put those in a tray, you can regrow romaine. You can. So if you want, you can peel each lettuce leaf off and wash in the water each one individually. Now, again, I don't like doing that because I feel like it takes so much more time. So what I like to do is I like to chop it first. And because I don't like really long pieces of romaine lettuce, like if you just chopped it straight like this, they would be really long. It would be like, some of them would be the length that long, and I don't really like that. So what I do is I slice down a couple times lengthwise through the entire head of romaine. A couple times like this. That way the pieces are going to be a lot smaller and easier to eat. So that's how I like to do it. Let's see, do we have any other questions here? Oh, love you so much. Thank you for joining me, you guys. It's so awesome to have you here. So once you've chopped it lengthwise, then chop it this way. And I like thin pieces of lettuce, so you can do it however you want. If you want nice big chunks, you can do it that way, but I like it kind of shredded like. So here we go, just doing that really quick. I find it's a lot easier to do it this way, but again, you can wash your lettuce any way that you like. It's all good. This is just how we like to do it. All right, so there we go. Once that's done, we're chopping 3. They're kind of small, that's why we're having 3 today. So we're just gonna have a head and a half, which is going to be a good amount. Actually, we're each having 2 because I already did one before I started this video. With smaller pieces, you can eat more total volume. That's true. It's a little bit easier to chew, I find. So we've got 1 in there. We'll do the other 2. And again, you can just do them all at once. It's so much easier. Replant if you want. Replant. And then just go lengthwise, like so. And then bunch them all together and just go down this way. And there we go. All of our lettuce is chopped. Chop, chop, and ready. Let's see, we've got some questions here. How you don't have any loose skin, any tips? Oh, good question. So I lost 70 pounds, and your skin never really goes back to the way it was before you gain the weight. So there's always going to be a little bit of sag there. Unfortunately, that's what happens, but you can get it as tight as possible. With exercise, you can tighten the muscle underneath the skin, and losing weight slowly is probably the most important, aside from eating enough. If you are under eating, so if you're calorie restricting, you're not eating enough food, then your body's going to eat itself, and it's going to eat some of your muscle mass as well, which can lead to saggier skin. In the past, before I was raw, I did do a lot of calorie restriction and weight loss challenges and that kind of thing, and I would lose weight, but I'd always feel saggy after. On a raw diet, eating enough, so eating like between 2100 and 2300 calories while I was losing weight, and now 2400 calories a day to maintain. While I was eating that much food, my body didn't have to burn its own muscle mass to sustain, because the BMR is your basal metabolic rate, which is your bare minimum required to survive without doing anything else. So you're like laying in bed, like not doing anything. That's the BMR that you need to run your heart, your lungs, your kidneys, your essential body functions. Eating underneath your BMR is dangerous because your body needs those calories. The reason why we're told to restrict down to our BMR is because we're eating the wrong foods in the first place. If you change the kinds of foods that you're eating and you start to eat properly, then you can eat more calories and actually sustain your body the energy that it needs every day. And the hydration that you're getting from the raw foods is going to help with your skin elasticity. So you want to lose weight slowly, about a pound a week is just right. And eventually you'll get to your goals, but it's a lifelong thing. Once you get to your goals, it doesn't mean you go back to eating the stuff that got you there in the first place. You want to continue on eating healthfully because it's a lifelong thing. Focus one day at a time. Today's the only day that matters. So I hope that helped answer that question. And let's see. Thanks guys for joining. So we've got all of that done. I'm going to put that in the bowl of water here. And yes, the kitties are playing in the background. Hi guys, hi everybody. So we've got everything in the water, so you can massage it in there, get all the pieces going, give your lettuce a little bath. And like I mentioned, you can do it one leaf at a time. I have heard people say that nutrients leach into the water when you do it this way, but honestly, I don't feel like it's a big concern because we eat so much. We don't cook our food, so other vitamins and minerals aren't going into the water when we're cooking. So, I mean, it's totally up to you, whatever you want to do. This is the easiest, fastest way, and this is how we do it to make our prep easy. And I'd rather the prep be easy than it be harder to do. But yeah, you guys can do it any way you want. This is how we do it. You let it sit in there for a little bit of time. Could probably do another minute. Maybe if there's a question we could answer. It's a nice fruit and veg wash rag from Norwex that we love. It's like scrubby, so you can scrub your fruits and veggies. Let's see. Oh, what kind of questions have we got? What does your t-shirt say backwards on camera? This shirt says vibrant vegan. I know it's hard because it's reversed, but it says vibrant vegan. I can't remember where I got it from. I might need to write that in the description if I remember. I'm not sure. I can't remember. So glad you went live. I lost you for a couple of years due to Insta algorithms used to make the best dressings. Yeah, thanks for coming back. Thanks for finding me again. I know Instagram has been known to unfollow people. I'm not sure why. And if you don't interact with my posts regularly, the algorithm assumes that you don't really care about my content, so it drops you from the feed. So any accounts that you really love, that you really support, that you want to support, just double tap, like their photos, whatever, just so it keeps it in the algorithm. That's what you want to do. You want to interact with the pages that you love. Don't just scroll by. If you love someone's page, give them a little love. Sorry, you guys, the cats are playing, and that might be a little noisy, so. Norwex cruelty free. Yes, Norwex is cruelty free. Most of their stuff says right on the bottle that they're not tested on animals and they don't have animal ingredients, so they're very vegan friendly. My friend Erin, a vegan ray of sunshine, she's the consultant. I just run a party every once in a while because I love the product. So yeah, if you want, again, direct message me. We're closing out our party at the end of Friday, I think. So if you want something, let me know and I'll send you some links and stuff. But yeah, they are nice because they are cruelty free, not tested on animals. What I love about being plant-based is the process of creating something. Feeling like wizard. Yeah, it's so awesome to create. I love creating, I love making new recipes, and I love making stuff for you guys. It's so much fun. So yeah, we've got our lettuce ready here. It's really that simple. I mean, this live's long because I'm chatting with you, so I don't mind, but when we're doing this for lunch, it's really quick. Chop, soak, and it soaks while I'm chopping other things like lettuce or green onions or whatever. You could even put your green onions here in with the lettuce. Yesterday I did food prep where I washed the lettuce and the celery at the same time. So you can do that as well. Save time if you want. But yeah, so we've got that done. And then I just lift out the lettuce. Here we go. And I dump this water. And then I will rinse this lettuce. So you could fill the container again, but I like to just bring it over to the sink. Just turn this over a bit. And just run a little bit of water over it, like so. Just to rinse it. And there we go. And then put it back in the spinner. And this is an OXO spinner, you guys. It's a spin dry veggie thing. Let me just put this here. Do you always soak all the produce, even organic? For right now, a lot of people are soaking everything. And two awesome things about soaking and washing your produce when you bring it into the house. And this has nothing to do with world events right now, you guys. These are just tips that are really beneficial. So not only are you washing your food to keep bacteria and other things off of it, But when you wash your produce, when you bring it in, you get rid of all those bacteria and other things that are on your produce, and your produce lasts longer. So if you find that things are going bad really quickly, just wash things when you bring them into the house. Wash them, get rid of anything that's on them, and they last longer. So that's a good tip, number one, why you should. And number two, when you wash your produce, you're actually washing away the potential for fruit flies. So if you have issues with fruit flies, because as a fruitie, we have a lot of fruit on our counter, tomatoes and bananas and oranges and stuff. And fruit flies actually lay their eggs kind of under the skin or in like little damaged areas. Sometimes they'll lay their eggs in there because when the fruit rots, that's food for the babies. So sometimes you're like, where did all those fruit flies go? Or come from, because they're just everywhere and they seem to come out of nowhere, but it's because they already live on the fruit when you bring it into the house. So washing your food makes them last longer and really decreases the amount of fruit flies that are going to start growing from your produce. So whether it's organic or not, washing them is such a great bonus to making them last longer and dealing with fruit flies. So yeah, even if they're organic, go for it. These tomatoes are organic heirlooms. Check it out. So wonderful, but we watched these the other day on live in our Facebook group. So yeah, that was there. And then, so we've got this spinner. It's an OXO brand. And any of the stuff that we use, I have a list. It's linked in my bio on Instagram. There's a link to Lissa's list, and it's all my favorite stuff. There are affiliate links, so off Amazon, I do get like a 3% commission if you buy off those links. But I wanted to provide all of the awesome stuff that we use if you guys are interested, and this is in the list. You can get it from Bed Bath & Beyond. A lot of kitchen stores have it, but this is the one that we like. I just make a little space in the middle for the bottom part. And I spin. Spin, spin, spin. This is how you get it dry. Spin for a little bit. Let's see what else is on here. You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. Do you watch Dr. Robert Morse? I don't actually. I don't follow Dr. Morse. I know all about him. I know what he teaches. He teaches some pretty great stuff, but I don't follow him. I just do my own thing, share what I know. And yeah, like I said, he has great information and it's awesome if you follow him, but he is not one of my inspirations, I guess you could say. I'm not saying he's bad or anything. I just don't follow him. You need one of these, Kim? Yes, they're pretty awesome. And then there's a button here. So you pretend it's going really fast. If you want, you can push the button. Those are the brakes. Put the brakes on, then you can just lift it up. And you have pretty much dried lettuce. I don't mind if it's a little crispy. If you wash it like this lettuce you could store, if you chop like 6 or 7 heads, you could store it for up to about 3 days. After time, it kind of gets a little rusty, but it's still okay. I like to do this every meal, or I'll chop enough for lunch and dinner and just wash it all at once. But this is all the water that came off of the lettuce. So just pour that out. And then we've got our salad bowls here. Yay! And just empty that out into our bowls. And there's our lettuce for lunch. Woohoo! Thanks for joining, guys. Greek is a good dressing. Yes, Greek is a good dressing, but there's lots of low-fat dressings in my recipe books. And again, recipe books right now are 40% off the ebook version. So if you want to grab any of those, link in my bio for ebooks. The code is immunity2020. You get 40% off. And yeah, so I just wanted to pop on here, you guys, show you how I wash the lettuce. Again, the product I used was the Norwex fruit and veg wash. Direct message me if you want a link on where to get that. But you could, again, use vinegar or baking soda if you want to use either or. You can do that as well. So here's our washed lettuce, ready to go. I'm just waiting on Nate. He's gonna make the dressing for our salads. Our wonderful new cutting board. Let's see, we have any other questions here? Is it true that if you cut it with a knife, it turns brown quicker? It can be true. We use these. They're cheap knives. I have a $300 knife that I rarely use. I just really like that one for some reason. But you could use ceramic knives if you wanted to avoid that. That's a cool thing too. We just don't have any. Do you ever soak fruit and veggies in water with a little apple cider vinegar, other type of vinegar? Yeah, the reason why it makes it last longer is because you're cleaning off the bacteria. It's not the vinegar that's making it last longer. It's the fact that there's no bacteria, molds, funguses, that kind of thing on the fruit. That's what makes it last longer. So you could use anything. You can use vinegar, you can use baking soda, or you can use a fruit and veg wash, whatever you want. Even just soaking them in water can help. Not as effective, but it works as well. So it does make them last longer because you're cleaning all of those bacteria and every germs and stuff off your fruit and veggies. But the only downside to that is you're also washing away any probiotics. So if you have your own garden, you don't necessarily have to do this. If you're eating things right out of your garden, it is beneficial to get some of that bacteria from the soil. So that's kind of like the trade-off. You're gonna wash your veggies, yes, that's cool, but you're also washing away some of the good bacteria that provide vitamin B12, for example. And that's the downside to not having your own garden. If you have your own garden, you're growing your own stuff, you can just rinse it with water, get the dirt off, but you don't have to soak it in anything special. Just, again, get the dirt off and eat it. Get that good bacteria. If you're eating it right away and you grew it yourself, you know there's no pesticides, you can just eat it right out of the garden. What is your all-time favorite dressing and what's Nate's? Ooh, this changes all the time because there are so many. Right now, one of my favorites is the sweet maple mustard from Meal Plan 3. This one, yeah. That one's been one of my favorites. I also really love the ramen from Meal Plan 2. That's one that I like to make every night if I could, but we don't. We make other stuff, but the ramen is definitely one of my absolute favorite dishes to make. Nate really likes the spicy ginger almond, which is what we put on the kale chips today. Woo, check it out. Kale chips, we used spicy ginger almond. So we had all this kale that we needed to save. So we just made kale chips. And they're just for, you know, having one a little bit here and there as a snack is a great idea. They do feel really drying on the body, but it's a great way to preserve your kale if you have a lot of it. Let's see, what else do we have here? What is the book going to be on Amazon for Meal Plan 1? Oh, when is the book going to be on Amazon? Meal Plan 1 is actually being redone. So it's gonna take a lot of work because I'm redoing all the photographs for every single recipe. So that's 90 recipes that I have to redo photos for, and I have to reformat it so it looks like this one. Right now, it's only like a 6x9 size. It's very small, it's harder to read, so I do want to revise it, but I don't know when that's going to happen because I have to do so much work on it. I'm hoping by Christmas. It's going to have a pink cover. This one's blue, Meal Plan 2 is green, and Meal Plan 1 will be pink. So that's exciting. That's in the works. Also working on the Checkmate Your Cravings ebook that's going to be free with a $7 audio version if you want to grab that too, but that's not ready yet. It should be done by the end of May. Let's see here. Is that your fat-free one? This one isn't fat-free, it's nut-free. So there are no nuts being used in the dressings. The only fat sources that are being used is seeds, avocado, and young Thai coconut. So those are the fat sources in here. Tried to keep it, all the days are at 10%. Jai was eating the book. He left his little signature on there too. Let's see, what else do we got here? What is your all-time favorite dressing that has fat in it? Oh my gosh, there's so many good ones. I've got, this is my dips and dressings book. Again, you can get them ebook versions 40% off, link in my Instagram bio, or payhip.com/rawfoodromance, link in description. This is 40% off the ebook version. Code is immunity2020, but this is the dips and dressings book. It's split up into 3 different sections: no fat, low fat, and high fat. So if you're looking for a low fat lunch, you just look through the low fat section, which has 48 no fat dressings. And then there's a low fat, which just uses seeds and young coconut. And then there's the high fat one. This one, guys, the jalapeno cheese ball made with cashews. That's probably one of my favorite things, even though I don't eat it very often. There's also the cream cheese spread. That one's pretty good. Both made with cashews. I know cashews aren't raw, but this one's really cool too. Fermented sunflower hummus. Tastes almost just like hummus without using any chickpeas. You're just using fermented sunflower. The miso Caesar, the raw SpaghettiOs, Lissa's dragon eye sauce dip for sushi. That's a good one. Pad Thai, Alfredo. I mean, creamy mustard herb. There's a lot. But I think if I had to choose only one, that's tough. That's tough. But I would probably have some spinach dip. Raw vegan spinach dip. Again, cashews not raw, but vegan spinach dip. Spinach dip is so good. Just dipping lettuce in, but I like to portion it out so I don't eat the whole cup all at once because that's pretty high fat. But yeah, so that's the answer to that question. Let's see here. Thank you so much for your advice and beautiful posts. So inspiring. Thank you so much. Love from Germany. Excited I found you. I'm excited you did too. I hope you resonate with some of the stuff and you learned some stuff. Let's see here. Thanks for answering my question on your YouTube live about avocado allergies. It really just makes me nauseous. Yeah, some people have reactions to certain things, and you really got to check and see how your body reacts to some things. I had a sensitivity to avocado. It made me super tired, but I worked with my homeopathic doctor to release that. Again, if you want a little information on that, I can send you a link to her thing. How we dealt with it, it was more just energetic. And now I can have avocados without feeling super tired. If I eat a whole one, yeah, I'll feel a little tired, but not the same way. Before it would be I'd eat like a quarter and I'd feel like I took a sleeping pill. So yeah. Which one of the oil-free dressings do you like? All of my recipes are oil-free, so I don't use any oil in any of my recipes. Do you use oils? Again, no oils. No oils. I haven't added oils to my recipes or any of my meals for almost 6 years. I don't believe that we need them. To me, oils are like the same equivalent as processed sugar. You're taking all the fat out of the product and you're leaving the fiber and a lot of the other nutrients and stuff by just extracting the fat. And it's 100% fat, which can block insulin from getting sugar into your cells. We don't want to block insulin. We want our insulin to be very sensitive and be able to get the sugar in our cells, and we burn it really well. So that's why I don't use oils. I don't believe that they're health food at all. The reason the Mediterranean diet is so healthy is because people eat a lot of fruits and veggies. That's the key, fruits and veggies. So for fats, I just use whole sources, whole seeds, whole young coconut, whole avocado, even though I only eat half of it. But so that is how I get my healthy fats. I eat them in their whole form. Let's see, we got. I'm obsessed with koodles. Is the spaghetti recipe good? Yes, I love koodles. My marinara is fat-free as well, so you could do that. And if you want, you can always add a tablespoon of chia seeds to them to add some omega-3. What is causing my weight gain? No fat. Again, this is something that I need to learn about what you're eating every single day, like down to individual items, and I'd have to know your activity level, your height, your weight, your sleeping patterns. Like there's so many factors that can be involved. If you're eating way too much for your height and weight, if you're eating too little, you can gain weight. There's so many factors that come into play, so I don't know. I can't guess without knowing a lot more information. It's hard to know what to say if you're not a fly on the wall watching what people are eating behind closed doors, or what they're eating just on average, because I'm not there to see, so I don't know. I'd have to have a conversation about that with you. Again, I offer coaching, $75 US an hour, link in my Instagram bio if anyone was interested in doing coaching. We go into detail with what you're eating, but you have to track everything so that I can see what you're eating and where issues might be. But that's, yeah, it's a big loaded question. Your food looks so good. Are they easy to prepare and easy to find ingredients? Yes, I tried to plan all of my meals and all of my recipes using very easy to find ingredients like tomatoes, cucumbers, zucchini, bell pepper, romaine lettuce, iceberg lettuce, kale, like some pretty easy to find recipe ingredients, as well as dates. Some of the only like harder to find stuff, you can just order online for the most part. Coconut aminos, I see lots of stores have coconut aminos available, quite accessible. Apple cider vinegar, maple syrup, that kind of thing, they're so easy to get. So I tried to keep my ingredients very easy to get. Otherwise, you can just order online if you can't find it. Dips and dressings is the best, thank you. Spaghetti recipe is delicious. What food do you miss the most? Ooh, that's a good question. I don't really miss anything specific because I find such enjoyment in what I'm eating now, and because it's my reality, this is just what I eat. I can look back and remember times where I enjoyed some foods, but I don't necessarily miss them exactly the same way that I did when I first started. Because I've been doing this so long, it's, again, my new reality. This is what I think of, what I imagine if I'm hungry or if I'm feeling like I want something. I always think of my recipes or what I've eaten that's raw that I really enjoy. So missing stuff. I did really miss maple syrup, and I didn't have it in my diet for about 3 years. And I was thinking, well, because maple syrup's not actually raw. They actually heat it to high temperatures to turn it into a syrup. Otherwise it would be kind of like bland water. So they heat it to turn it into a syrup, and that's not considered raw. But I still eat cashews, which aren't raw either. So I was like, well, if I'm eating cashews, which is a fat, why can't I allow maple syrup, which is a sugar, which our body burns, and use that even though it's not raw? So I did start to incorporate maple syrup back into my diet about 2.5 years ago-ish, give or take. So that's one thing that I actually missed because I missed the flavor. If there's one thing, honestly, that I would really love to have, would be sesame oil. Only because sesame oil has such a unique flavor, but it's roasted and then pressed to get that flavor, that classic Asian flavor. But I've been on the lookout for sesame essential oil that doesn't have like oils in it, because I don't want to add oils, but that would probably be the one thing that I would miss, but I don't even really miss it. It's just a flavor that I really liked from the past that it's not even really a thing per se, exactly. So that, I hope that answered your question. I love your huge salad meals. I resonate. Good, good, good. Nutritional yeast, I haven't been eating very much of, maybe like once or twice a month for a little while. I found that I was feeling a little inflamed when I would eat it for a couple days, and then I noticed when I stopped eating it, that went away. It wasn't lots, but it was noticeable enough for me to question what it was, and I think it is the nutritional yeast. Not everybody reacts to it. I didn't react to it for a very long time until suddenly I did, and I was like, what is that? So I stopped doing nutritional yeast. Again, I still eat it every once in a while, but I know what's gonna happen if I do. Just a little bit of joint pain, that's about it. So I just try to keep it out of my diet as much as possible. What about vinegar, balsamic, or white vinegar? I don't use either. You could use balsamic vinegar if you want to. I don't use either. I only use apple cider vinegar. So I don't like white vinegar because it's basically super processed. But good morning from Australia. Hello, hello. What is a raw breakfast idea? I'm about to have breakfast. What should I have? Fruit, 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 fruit. Just have fruit. Try to have like 800 to 1,000 calories of just fruit. Fill up your gas tank with fruit first thing in the morning is a great idea to start your day. So just fruit, 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 fruit. You don't need to have any fats or any other things like that. You could add greens if you want to, but I eat enough greens during lunch and dinner. I don't need to add them to my smoothie in the morning, but I just make a smoothie or a fruit bowl, just chop up some fruit, put it in a bowl and eat it. But I aim for 800 to 1,000 calories if I can for breakfast. Sometimes it's a little on the lower end, maybe 600 calories. If I'm splitting the smoothie with Nate, sometimes it's not as high. I will snack on bananas after, or fruit, apples, whatever I have. I thought I heard Nate. He's coming back with the dates, so we gotta make some lunch here. Do your books use cups or grams to measure? I use cups, so you could just convert if you're using grams, but it's fairly easy to figure that out. But normally when I do, I'll be like 1 lime or a tablespoon, teaspoon, that's pretty much it. or I'll do like a bunch of kale or a bunch of one head of lettuce. So it's gonna be different depending on where you are, what you're getting, but it's just ballpark average for the salad ingredients. You can add whatever you want to the salad if you want. Has your eyesight improved? I wouldn't say it's improved, but it hasn't gotten worse. So since I was 8 years old, from 8 years old until 34, every single time I went to the eye doctor, it was a worse prescription. Every single time. I was always getting new glasses because it was always getting worse. Then I went raw at age 34, and ever since then, when I go to the eye doctor, it's the same prescription. So they're not getting worse, which is good because I don't want them to get worse. Also, a side note, the eye doctor that I saw last time, probably about 2 years ago, she said that my risk for retinal detachment was no longer there. Before, when I was in my 20s, the eye doctor said that I had a higher risk for retinal detachment, and that scared me, obviously, but I didn't do anything about it. I just continued to eat junk food. But eventually, when I went raw, that eye doctor said, she's like, oh, you had a risk, but it's no longer there. So I'm saying that, I'm gonna say it's the diet and the positive thinking and stuff like that that's helped a lot with my eyes. Again, they haven't improved, but they're not getting worse, so I'm just grateful for that. They're really, really bad too. I'm like completely, almost legally blind without them. My problem is nighttime snacking on anything inside, even processed food. Nighttime snacking normally is because you haven't eaten enough during the day. So if you are going to bed at 9 o'clock, you would want to stop eating a couple hours, maybe 2 to 3 hours before going to bed. So stop your dinner then and time it that way if you can. But snacking late at night normally means that throughout the day you didn't get enough calories. So make sure that you're eating enough. Make sure you eat enough for dinner so that you're not hungry later on. And if you are snacky later on, just grab some fruit if you want. Have a couple bananas if that's what you need. I know it's tempting to choose those other things, but again, just grab the fruit. Even if you don't want to eat it right at that moment, grab the fruit, just grab it. Smell it, start peeling it, look at it, envision how it's going to make you feel, and focus on the positive benefits from eating the piece of fruit instead of whatever junk food that you want to eat. Because we're reward-driven creatures. We want the reward of whatever choice we make. So if we're looking at a bag of potato chips, the reward is going to be comfort, numbing, you know, all of those, a dopamine hit, the taste, the convenience, it's easy, stimulative, all of those are benefits. They're rewards for eating the chips. These are things that we get from that. But what's the reward of eating a piece of fruit? The reward is health, hydration. You are proud of yourself for making a good choice. That self-pride is a lot of motivation to choose the fruit because we want to feel proud of ourselves. We want to know that we're making good decisions. So what other rewards for eating the fruit? You're not going to feel heavy. You're not going to feel guilty, regretful. Some people feel self-loathing when they eat the chips. These are all things that you're not going to have if you eat the fruit. You're going to feel light and happy and grateful that you made a good choice. And these are good rewards that we want. So you're more drawn to choosing the fruit than the potato chips because you have to balance out the rewards. That's really all it is. Don't think about the negative effects because that's not a reward. We know how we're going to feel when we eat the chips, but in the moment we want the chips, and those bad consequences that we get after aren't deterrent enough to say no. We have to look at a different reward and compare them. Be like, what reward is better? This reward is obviously better. We all want to feel healthy. We want to feel proud of ourselves. We want to make good decisions. We want to move towards our goals. And that reward comes from choosing the orange or the apple or the banana or whatever fruit you're going to eat. So by changing your reward cycle can really help with nighttime snacking. Just remember, what is the reward that you're going to get from whatever you're going to eat? Pick up your fruit, hold it, play with it. Even if you don't feel like eating it, if you start to peel it, then you're more likely to eat it because you're gonna smell it, it's gonna be good, you're gonna be like, oh, this is gonna make me feel so hydrated. You really gotta focus on the positives. I increased my dates. Could that be it? Honestly, for weight gain, if you are gaining weight, you have to track what you're eating every day and look at what you're eating every day, how many calories you're eating, and all of that stuff before you can make a decision of what could be causing any weight gain. Let's see, what do we got? Miss warm food. I think under 118 degrees doesn't kill enzymes. Is that true? Yes. 118 is like the give or take average for raw food temperature. That's why we have our dehydrator right here is normally always set to about 110 degrees, and that's where we have that. Most of our stuff is just in there at that temperature. You could also use your Vitamix or high-speed blender on high for about 2 minutes, and that will blend it to warming temperatures. So if you wanted to have a warm sauce or a warm soup, you could just do that in your Vitamix as well if you're missing warm stuff. But for the most part, I just don't eat stuff out of the fridge if I can avoid it. I'll like wash my lettuce in warm water. I'll take cucumbers out of the fridge beforehand so they're not freezing cold, because if you're eating a cold salad, it's not very enjoyable unless it's a super hot summer day. But in the winter, it's tough. So just try to eat things in room temperature if you can. Is there a vegan egg roll type recipe? That's a raw vegan one. That's a great question. For the rolls itself, that's hard. You could make your own in the dehydrator if you could find a recipe. I don't have anything for egg rolls. You could do something like a cabbage roll. Freeze the cabbage to break the cell wall so it's a softer leaf, and just freeze them overnight and then thaw them during the day and they'll be like really flimsy. You could use that to roll some ingredients in there. And then you could make, in my dips and dressings book, I have a recipe for a dehydrator sauce, which is here. It's like a, where is it? Classic plum sauce. You can make that in the dehydrator, and it's like a sticky sauce without using any syrup. You're using orange juice. So that's a really great option for the dipping sauce for the egg rolls. But yeah, you would do a little bit more research. I want to make more recipes. I want to make a gourmet, I would call it fresh gourmet recipe book full of awesome, cool recipes that you can make that aren't a meal plan, but just cool recipes, give or take here and there. I have a collection of them, so that's gonna come years down the road. I got way too much to do. So yeah, thank you guys so much for all your questions. Let's see. Why does nutritional use bother you? I don't know, same reason why avocados can bother some people or strawberries can bother some people. Some people just react to certain foods, and it's okay, just start avoiding them if you can. But yeah, there are some things that happen. Do you think the vegan curry could be the weight gain? Again, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I need to know more details to be able to tell. Oh, we just got some mail. Do you drink bubbly or stevia flavored waters? We like to drink some of the carbonated waters every once in a while. It's really nice, like Perrier or San Pellegrino. Those are really good options. And yes, we do have those once in a while. Could squeeze some fresh fruit in there too if you want. Do you have videos on your makeup, skincare, and hair coloring? I haven't colored my hair in a long time. This is my natural hair color. I do like coloring it black with a natural hair color or henna. I haven't used henna in a long time, but that's a possibility too. But I do, on YouTube, I have some videos on my skincare routine, which I am not regular with. I like to do it once in a while. Sometimes I'll do it for weeks straight, and then I forget about it, and then I'm just not regular with it enough, but it is really nice. I use Eminence Organics for that. How did you and Nate meet? Great question. Nate actually, he's got his whole story on his YouTube if you wanted to hear about it, but he was looking at going raw vegan and he was doing some searching on YouTube. He found me and my books and he got my book and he started using it. He got some coworkers to go raw with him. He lost 60 or 70 pounds, close to there. And then he went to the Woodstock Fruit Festival where he met Jack from Raw Tropical Living, And they became friends, and Jack messaged me and said, hey, I just met this guy at Woodstock and he used your book to lose all this weight. You should interview him for your YouTube channel. I was like, sure, that's pretty cool. So we messaged each other after Woodstock and we set up a date for an interview. And as soon as we got on the interview, I was like, oh, I'm in trouble. I was like, so yeah, he was awesome. And we talk every day since then, and we decided to meet eventually, and it was just heaven happened. And then we got married at Woodstock in August, so we're newlyweds for about, it's been like 7 months, I'd say, 6 or 7 months since we, maybe not, maybe 5. But yeah, newlyweds, and he found me because he went raw, and he used my books to do so, which is awesome. Thank you so much for your knowledge, is spot on, and I'll be buying your books. Awesome. Remember 40% off code Immunity 2020. Link is in my Instagram bio or in the description box of the YouTube video for this, because I'll post it on YouTube. I know everybody loves when I post my lives on YouTube because they get to watch what they might have missed. So yeah, Immunity 2020 is the 40% off code, and you can get the link for the ebooks in the link in my bio. So I hope you enjoy some awesome recipes. I love it, love it. Do you eat cacao nibs or powder? Yes, I do. I find it difficult to eat the chocolate, the raw chocolate. I get heart palpitations, but I don't get that when I eat cacao powder or nibs. They do keep me up at night, so I try to avoid eating those at night. I normally, if I'm going to do a chocolate malt smoothie or something, it's first thing in the morning. So that's when I do it, if I do it. If I want all your books, what's the best way to bulk purchase them? I know you have a bundle for them online books, but what about, but I like the photos, they inspire me. Thank you so much. Yes, there is a bundle for $100, and it's 40% off again, so it's only 60 bucks right now with code Immunity 2020. Link in bio or in the description, but you can get all 6 books. It's the 52 to a New You. It's a transition guide. There's the Dips and Dressings book, which is this one. Woo! Dips and Dressings. Then there's Meal Plan Volume 1, 2, and 3, because I have 3 meal plans. Meal Plan 3 is the nut-free, dehydrator-free one. You don't need a dehydrator for this book. And then you also get the winter recipe book, which has 41 winter recipes to warm you. They're cozy, they're holiday themed, so that's in there too. So that bundle, the ebooks, is 100 bucks, 40% off right now, code Immunity 2020. Unfortunately, the print books, I have no control over sales or shipping or returns or whatever. That's all done through Amazon, so if you want to grab those books, you have to look for them on Amazon. These are on Amazon, the print books. And I don't have a code for those because I don't have control over what Amazon sells them for. So that's that. Let's see. Is it allowed to eat homemade raw peanut butter? Allowed is a very interesting term because you're allowed to eat whatever you want. But peanut butter is very high in omega-6s. It's probably one of the highest in omega-6s, which can imbalance your omega-3. It's like so high. I rarely do peanut butter because I just don't like the omega-6 to 3 ratio. If I do have peanut butter, again, it's very rare, and I'll use the whole peanuts. I like the jungle peanuts. You'd have to order those online somewhere, but the jungle peanuts are mold free. A lot of peanuts have natural molds growing on them, so it can cause issues for people who deal with mold problems. But yeah, if I do, it's in a peanut satay sauce or like a pad thai, and it's very rare that I'll do peanuts, like maybe like 2 or 3 times a year, if that. But yeah, I prefer to do, if I'm gonna do a nut butter, I'd way rather do cashew, cashew or almond or something like that. But yeah, peanuts are just not, for me, they're just not part of my diet, but I know lots of people that love them. Let's see, we've got, ooh, I can get one of those salad spinners at Walmart. You might be able to. I've never seen them at Walmart. I don't really shop at Walmart either, so I have no idea if they have it. You can check online, but I know they have it at Bed Bath & Beyond, and I know they do carry them in some specialty kitchen stores, so if you want to go grab that. Oh, let's see. Can you use coconut as egg roll paper in the dehydrator? You could definitely try that. That might work. If you aren't looking for specifically 100% raw vegan, you could just also use rice paper, because the rice paper, you can roll those little garden spring rolls with that as well. But definitely try doing the coconut, and make sure you watch it, because it can get too crispy and break. But you can dehydrate it till that moment where it's pliable and it's easy to wrap. You'll just have to watch it to see. What is the best meal to eat your fats? Is not heat, but to eat them alone. The best time to eat your fats would be with your dinner meal with your darker leafy greens. So I normally do just fruit in the morning, a low fat salad for lunch, and then higher fat, not high fat, but higher fat dressing with dinner. So that's where I'll put my sunflower seeds or my cashew dressing, or maybe half an avocado. I pick one fat, and I normally do. But that's when I do my fats, because we need fats to absorb things from greens. So it's good to have it in your evening salad. If you're doing things like kale or romaine, or chard or bok choy, your darker, heavier greens, you could have a little bit of fats with those. Yeah, we're having a Caesar salad tonight, so we've got kale and romaine, so we're gonna have our fats with our salad at night, which is, I think, the best. Yeah. Let's see, what do we got? If you're hungry after dinner, what do you snack on? We normally make an ice cream if we're hungry after dinner. It's best to just go to bed, obviously, if you've eaten enough during the day. If you are hungry, it's normally a signal that you didn't eat enough. So eat. It's okay to eat, as long as it's low fat, whole food, plant-based. Do you take probiotics? I do on occasion. We have some probiotics in our drawer. We're not super regular with our supplements. We don't take them as daily or whatever. Maybe it's like when I do a what I ate in a day video, I'll take them. I'll remember if I do. But we do B12, D3, sometimes probiotics. We do daily greens boost, and rarely we'll do K2. We have them, but we don't really take them regularly. Those are the only supplements that we really take. Not really into the supplement thing. But we do take it just for a preventative measure. Watermelon's not in season. I know, it sucks. I can't wait. I love your story and how you met Nate. I do too. I miss him. He's on his way back with some dates so he can make a dressing. Do you have a vegan tofu recipe? I don't do tofu. I don't eat tofu. So there's plenty of recipes online. Just Google and YouTube vegan tofu recipe, and I'm sure you'll find a ton of options on there. How do you make the kale chips? The kale chip recipe is not in the books, but all you do is you wash your kale, wash it real good, and keep the chunks fairly large. You like large chunks. Then you get into the dips and dressings book, and you find yourself a delicious higher fat recipe. You could use lower fat too, but the problem with a lower fat on a kale chip is they get kind of staticky or too dry because there isn't that fat holding it together. So you do need something with a little bit more fat. Jalapeno, cilantro, lime. You could do caramelized onion dip. You could do the spinach dip without spinach. Tangy dill pickle, that's actually one of me and Nate's favorite. This one here has the spicy ginger almond on it. And all you do is, we'll just pretend this is our kale. All you do is you wash your kale, put it in a bowl, pour some dressing on there and massage it in really well. And then put it on a tray, your dehydrator tray. And you want to use the see-through one. So use the see-through one, just pile it nice and high, put it in the dehydrator for about 12 to 20 hours at 110. Now you don't have to let it go all the way. You could eat them right away when they're still a little bit soft, or you could let them go further and have them more crispy. It really depends on your taste and your how you want to eat them, but that's how you make them. And we just made these last night, and I pulled them out this morning, and they're a little, they do get stuck to the tray, but you just wash that. But there we go. Yeah, these are awesome. Spicy ginger almond, kale chips. Woo! I love them. Great snack, but again, best eaten away from fruit. You don't want to eat them too close to fruit. Kale, almond butter. Let's see what we got here. Eat your meals according to the sun. I love that. That's beautiful. Yeah, wake up in the morning, fuel yourself up with the most calories so that you can start your day well. Like, we don't start road trips without filling our gas tank full to the top. We gotta fill our gas tanks full to the top. None of this skipping breakfast kind of thing. It just, I don't know. I'm not a fan of skipping breakfast. Sunflowers lower than cashews and fat. Well, any fat source is going to be fatty. It depends on how much you eat of it. So you can do sunflowers or cashews or almonds, just have smaller amounts, add them to your salads. Do you feel you get enough protein, and do you incorporate strength training? I'm not regular with exercise. Before the lockdown, we were going regularly to the gym, which was really nice, but now the gym's closed and kind of fell out of a lot of routines over here, which is okay. It happens, we're human. Lately, we've been going for runs or hikes a lot lately. Bike rides as well. We went for a 42-kilometer bike ride on the weekend. We like to do that about once a week, but we try to go for a nightly walk, maybe about 20 to a half an hour, just walking around the neighborhood, helping our digestion. But yes, incorporate strength training is so important, and I want to incorporate more of it. I just need to get into the routine, which I struggle with a lot. So weight training is really important, and I do feel like I get enough protein. I eat 2,400 calories a day of raw, fresh fruits and veggies, and it averages around between 55 and 70 grams of protein a day, which is more than enough for a female my age. And the RDA for protein is already set on the high end. It's not like we need to eat 2 or 3 times that. If you're worried about protein, add more greens, add more broccoli, add more sprouts. Lentil sprouts are so good for protein. If you need to add more protein, if you're feeling like you need that little extra satiation, add a cup of sprouts to your salads. Sprouts are powerhouses. They're amazing. Do you eat dried goji berries? I haven't had goji berries in like a decade. I don't even remember when the last time I had goji berries. Jeez. When I was working at the health food store, we would order goji berries and I would have them there, but that was a long time ago. It feels like it was another lifetime ago. Jeez, crazy. Top 5 favorite dressings. That's like one of the top questions I've been getting lately. My favorite dressings. Well, French dressing is definitely the easiest. It's 5 dates, juice of a lemon, a couple cloves of garlic, some smoked paprika, apple cider vinegar if you want it, and water. Super easy. That's one of my favorite ones. The smoked paprika and the dates with the garlic make it amazing. Of course, you need the sour, the lemon. What else do I really like? Lately, it's the sweet maple mustard from Meal Plan 3. I really like the Moroccan lime from Meal Plan 3. The smoky tomato tahini is a great dinner dressing. Meal Plan 3. A lot of these are in here. A lot of these are the new ones that I've created. So a lot of the old ones that I used to really love, I haven't really been eating a lot of, but we like marinara as well, and the ramen. Oh, the ramen. That's my favorite of all time. So yeah, I've got 2 minutes left, you guys. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to head off here, but I'm gonna post this on YouTube. I'm sorry if I didn't get to grab any of your questions. If I missed any of your questions, it's all good. I'll be live again another time. But thank you so much for joining me. It was really awesome to chat with you guys, and I can't wait for Nate to get back because I really want to eat some salad. So I'm gonna go chop some other ingredients to have in our salad, so when he's home we can make. Sorry, I had a call. But yeah, lots of happening. So I'm gonna sign off. Thank you so much for joining me again. Thank you. If you have any questions, I have a swipe up question box on my stories right now. It'll be gone in about 20 hours from this recording. So if you have any other questions, write them in that sticker in my stories and send it to me, and I'll be sharing those tomorrow on my Instagram stories, the answers to those questions. So thank you again. I love you guys so much. Mwah. Yes, fruit on, you guys. Love you. See you soon.